instill that belief in you. Is essentially what Errol done to me, and led me not only to Nottingham, but really gave me the belief that I needed in myself, because I had that belief that I could be anything I wanted to be. When someone else sees it in you, it just gives you that little bit else. And your mum will always say to you, or your parents will always say to you, oh yeah, you can be whatever you want to be, and that's great. But when someone else sees it in you, like it really pushes you on.
What we've Yes, we back.
Yeah.
13th and final round.
Live and
We got a
direct.
special guest in the building.
The diamond.
We're starting with John Keenan. We're starting with Donovan Smiley.
Yep.
Myself, Ishan Pickering. Josh, the diamond. Goodin. Boxing out of Nottingham. From
Luton.
Appreciate it every time.
Yes, Josh.
Let's
Good
go,
to see you,
let's
man.
go,
This
man.
guy here, listen to me. This guy's a people's person. I've got love for him, you know what I mean? What I'm saying is, you know, like, I surround myself with good people. He's not around me all the time, he's doing his thing, but what I'm saying is, I had this guy in mind all the time as a good person, man. I mean, very good person, that's why he's here. That's why he's here. What, you know, like, why are you in Nottingham, Josh? This guy here, listen to why you come Nottingham.
Yeah.
I actually came Nottingham, funny enough, to first study. So I came up to the university up here about sort of 10 years ago, and just fell in love with the city. I moved back to Luton, but I always knew it was in my stars to then come back up. But I was just sort of trying to find my purpose. And I was saying to you guys off air, like pretty much finding Bad Boys Boxing Gym and Errol McDonald putting the confidence in me to follow boxing and follow those stars is what really situated me in Nottingham and helped me to follow the direction of boxing. Like you guys know, as former boxers and as coaches yourselves, how much of an influence a coach can have on you, like the way that they direct you, motivate you, and essentially instill that belief in you. Is essentially what Errol done to me, and led me not only to Nottingham, but really gave me the belief that I needed in myself, because I had that belief that I could be anything I wanted to be. When someone else sees it in you, it just gives you that little bit else. And your mum will always say to you, or your parents will always say to you, oh yeah, you can be whatever you want to be, and that's great. But when someone else sees it in you, like it really pushes you on.
What we've got in common, it's important, this. So we didn't have a mother and a father. He had a mother like me. I mean, just a mother. A strong mother. Carribean background. I mean, strong. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was
Strict.
I had a strict upbringing. She always made sure I stayed on the right path. Like she came over from, and this is the reason why, I don't know if you guys know, the reason why I called myself the Diamond when picking a professional name is the island my mum's from is an island called St Vincent and the Grenadines. It's an island that well, my mum now has relocated back to St Vincent. Island I hold close to my heart. It has 3 diamonds on the flag. So there's actually a purpose behind the diamond.
I like that, Josh. You're very educated about where your mum's from, all your background. It's important, you know what I mean? It's important.
You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're from.
I like that.
And so yeah, it was a strict upbringing. The reason why I didn't get into boxing earlier is my mum always said to me, Joshua, you'll not get into boxing, you'll not fight under my roof. And she said that to me.
Up against it.
Yeah, So it wasn't until I left that left home is when I actually started
what you're
boxing.
doing.
But prior to that, it was always football, and always had a competitive streak, and all my coaches would always fuel my fire to really be the essentially the footballer I was, which was an aggressive. I'd often like teeter on the edge of having fights.
What position? Mid in the middle?
Yeah, I was central midfielder. I mean, it's hard to compare myself because I never achieved the levels of someone like Roy Keane or Patrick Vieira, but that was the type of combative midfielder I was. Not aesthetically or technically the most talented, but I would always give everything.
Willing, keen.
And that's put me in good stead for boxing, because I was never the most talented at football, but I always got into good position, and I achieved I would say a reasonable amount as a short footballing career. I represented England at national schoolboy level, trialled at various different academies. Never had the mindset to trickle me over the edge in football. And we talked about that earlier on off air.
Well, just see how humble he is. Look at how far he got, and he's saying he wasn't good at this. What's he saying that for? He was very good at what he did. He wouldn't have got to that level. Build yourself, man.
Yeah, no, it's not even that. It's like, it's like when you want to.
Yeah, I can see with you, the self-confidence and self-esteem. You know exactly what you want.
Yeah, I think with me it says in the book of Matthew, those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. So
I sense you're a Christian. Being brought up as a Christian.
Yeah, I was raised as a Christian.
We'll go to church. Amen.
Yeah, I was raised as a Christian.
I know it is. That helps. Religion helps you in this kind of sport, because you need something to.
Not so much religion, but relationship with the Lord.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's
Relationship with the Lord.
But it gives you that. It helps you in your career.
It does.
How
It
did it
does.
help you?
Actually, I sort of went on a spiritual journey, like in a sense that I've read the I've read the Quran, I've read the Bible, and the Torah as well. So I went through that in my sort of mid to early 20s to understand what like the how do I say it?
You're seeking.
Yeah, the sequence of historical events and how that led people to become people they want. Sort of going a bit off topic.
No.
This is what it's for.
We want to know about you. We want to know about you.
Sort of there. That in terms of
the topic.
Yeah, in terms of upbringing, like it was very
Sunday school.
Schooled, like very much religious, and very much you couldn't deter from what your mother said, and like we joke about it, like we're a West Indian parent. I look at my mother now, and everyone looks at my mother now and sees sort of what a placid and when I say frail, I mean in the most respectful sense of my mother. She's not frail, but she's like very
strong.
timid and gentle.
Strong.
But when I was growing up, it was a totally different dynamic. It was like, you follow my rules. You can't be two balls under one roof. She would say to me,
Just get your own key.
Yeah.
Get your
That
own
what
key.
your parents said to you?
Get your own key.
So that was it. But that fueled. That fueled my fire. Like, she always fueled my direction, and football fueled.
Strong woman, man.
Yeah.
His mum was the mother and the father. Do you know what I mean?
No. She was like my mum's. My mum's like my biggest inspiration.
Yeah,
I say that for real.
Love that.
Because I mean, and I give the example of success, and I give my mum as an example, because we could give Eddie Hearn or as an example as well, or fighters that come from like Manny Pacquiao that come from little and achieve everything. That's my mum to me. She came from an island called St. Vincent. She came from St. Vincent, I should say, because we've already disclosed the island. But she came over with nothing. She was working in a Burberry factory for pittance. So to get to where she got to, it was a hard and rocky path, and it may not be the heights of success of the Manny Pacquiaos or the Eddie Hearns, but for me, that journey was like it's sort of like an ever elusive victory that not many people get to, where she had her own franchise.
You know what you're saying here reminds me of that. I don't know if you ever seen that picture of the bottom of the ocean and then ground level and a mountain. Some people start at the bottom of the ocean, so when they get to ground level, the people that start at ground level at the top of the mountain think they're ahead. But they don't realise it's starting at different levels. I mean, Manny Pacquiao went from the bottom of the ocean to the top of Everest. That's not many people. Not many people do what he does.
Yeah, that's incredible.
But it's sometimes when you even get to just popping your head out of sand, you've already achieved a lot. Just to get to that level. We're not all born into.
So we are just our mothers. This guy had his grandparents. A mother and a father, his grandparents. You know what I mean? We've all got a different story.
How did that impact you, like in terms of both the positives and the flip side, and direct like you?
I had a strange bringing up dynamically with my with my mum and the man she married. It was to this day it's very complicated. So my grandparents both died through COVID.
Oh, bless you.
So we would talk about it. I'm at a stage where sometimes I just get tears in my eyes when I think about them, and I don't think you ever prepare yourself for what death is, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, but you have to go on because you have to celebrate them, not mourn them. You know, the Bible says that once you're born, it's a time to mourn, but when you die, it's a time to celebrate.
It is.
As in, like, they've lived their life, and they've now moved on. Their rewards in heaven, right? So you move on, yeah. But it's the same dynamic. You have to search for inspiration of how to be a man, or how to go through life and find your direction, right?
No, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And
definitely.
I think sometimes when you're at a handicap, like you're saying, it makes you a better person anyway, because you have to find a way to substitute. I'm dyslexic, so the fact that I couldn't read and write properly, I couldn't read and write, until 28. And now if you go on my social media, I do all the writing of the captions, all the rest. I've had to teach myself how to do that, right? But I've always substituted with talking. So we do, don't we? We find a way to substitute it. Yeah,
but I want to go back to that because and we touched upon it earlier about this, and I want to put it in inverted brackets, a handicap, and me and Isham were speaking about it as well. So me and Isham not having a father, we perceived it as a handicap. We perceived it that because our father wasn't there on a Sunday to not push us on, that's what could have held us back, or that's what we was missing. But but actually, when I look back at it, that wasn't a handicap in any way. In fact, it was the reason why I am who I am, because I didn't have a father to get me out of bed every morning. I had to get myself out of bed, and I had to get myself to go on those runs. I never had someone saying, Josh, time to go kick a ball. I had to go out the front by myself and kick a ball. And if I kicked it over the wall,
you got to go get it yourself.
I had to go get it myself. So I made sure
made your man. All he's done is made your man.
So, and this is what I say to any like individuals or aspiring athletes, or just young personnel. Like, you got to take accountability for yourself and not look at for the negatives in your situation. You have to flip that on your head and realize that if you've got clothes on your back, a roof over your head, and food in your tummy, like, you're in a positive situation, just flip it on your positive and realize that dictates the line in which or the magnitude in which you can achieve success. So I no longer see not having a father as a handicap, and that was a real turning point for me. The moment that I said not having a father isn't a handicap, it's actually a positive because of who I am.
That's their word, not your word.
Yeah, that was a real turning point for who I am. Now when I achieve setbacks, it's always tough still when you achieve setbacks. Like you but I understand how to get through them now, because I'm not blaming anybody. I'm taking accountability.
You deal with it yourself.
Yeah, you got to take accountability.
Well, you know, I like what you're saying, because I could see that you're all about the mindset. You're a thinker, right? So me and Isham have talks about this. My mindset changed in later life, where I realized a lot of my life was about, this person don't believe me, this person don't look at me a certain way, so I'm going to prove them wrong. And then when I proved them wrong, it was for a split second. I got an ounce of respect, and then they didn't really care anyway. And I think I wasted all that time. That's an anticlimax. So my mindset's changed now. Like, everything I do in life, and anyone watching who knows me will tell you this, I don't really care what your opinion is. I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I'm trying to prove myself right. It's all about proving myself
self-satisfaction.
right. Setting goals in front of me and getting to my goals, because that's what I want, not because I'm trying to prove them wrong. And I think a lot of boxers trip themselves up on that.
No, I do, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that I haven't dealt with those same conflicts within my head. Like, I see rivals or potential opponents around me achieving on a scale which I still aspire to achieve, and it's tough when you think I can beat that person. You've got to realize that you're all in your own lane. Like you've got like we've all got different circumstances.
You've got your race to run.
I've got my race to run exactly as it is, and I have to constantly remind myself that. And like with the injury and then seeing like other potential rivals kick on, it was just like, no, take a little step back. And that's what helped me refocus again, because up until a couple of weeks ago, like I wouldn't say I was going to step out of the sport, but I wasn't focused how I was again. And now, even this like last week to 2 weeks, it's really helped for me to refocus, to realize I'm in my own lane. I'm going to achieve things at my own pace. I'm going to push that pace at times because I know I'm on a time limit. I'm very cognizant of where I am in my career. I know
test of your character.
Yeah.
But
100%.
But I need to always refocus back to who you are and what race you're running, and that's your own race. And then there's no.
Can I
time
just say this
that.
while you're running your race as well? Don't look left. Don't look right. Don't look
straight.
back. Don't look down because you fall over.
Right. That's it.
And when you fall over, they're still running
Pick
your
yourself
race,
back
and
up.
you've taken your eyes off the destination.
Yeah,
you're going.
no.
Fix them forward and don't worry about what anyone else is doing. If you run your race and do your thing, you'll come.
That's
Exactly.
It'll come. Before
Admire
you know it,
and learn. Admire and learn off them. You know what I mean?
This is one thing I want to ask you, Isha. What was your favourite memory as a boxer in your career?
You're getting asked the
Yeah,
question.
the funny one.
And-
This is the funny one.
Yeah.
We've been asking other people.
Yeah,
this,
he's
you know what I
actually-
mean?
I want to know what's your.
Yeah, come on.
I want,
Give
like
me-
I said to off air, or at the start of this interview, is like Isham was someone I always looked up to, especially when I found out who he was when I moved to Nottingham, and he always put an arm around my shoulder and always just gave me little nuggets, little
Yeah,
gems.
more about respect, wasn't it,
Exactly.
Josh? Probably.
Well,
you know what I
no,
mean?
respect and admiration for what you achieved, because it's something that I long to achieve, and so it's just going to be really interesting for me to hear both I want to know both in the ring and out the ring. Whilst you was an athlete, what was your favourite moment?
Like I said, it has to be the pinnacle of my career, winning the European title in Bradford.
My turn.
But, like I said, my biggest achievement. This is my biggest achievement, which will even shock you, but when I say it, won't shock you.
It won't shock me.
So he was there. So he saw what I had to do to make the bantamweight to make for the world title. So I lost £9 on the day of the weigh-in. For a little guy, it's too much. I got knocked down for the first time, and this and that. So when you get knocked out in boxing,
It's hard.
not many come back from it, and I come back on one title. So that's my biggest.
Yeah, but tell them the story of what you did a year later when you saw him in New York.
Yeah, that's what made me, John.
Yeah,
that's what made
that
me.
was your
what said-
defining moment.
Yeah, that was my defining moment. So what I did, the guy that knocked me out, 9 months later, we went on a trip to New York. Me and my friend who actually lives in Florida now, Daniel McGarrigle, good friend of mine. He'll be watching, he'll be tuning in when you're on this, you know what I mean? We went to New York on a trip. We went in the Gleason's gym just to have a look. Went in the Gleason's, and it's like 4 times the size of Brendan's gym with about 4 rings.
Yeah.
Filled out with kids, you know what I mean, from all backgrounds. It's like 4 Brendans in one gym, you know what I mean? Anyway, guy wrapping his hands. Who was it? The guy who chinned me. Putting his wraps on. Do you know what I said? I've got jeans on. I said, do you want to spar? I didn't even think.
Did he recognise you?
I didn't think about what I was going to say.
Did he recognise you?
Wow.
Not straight away. And then he looked at his trainer, and the trainer recognised me. And the trainer's on my Facebook now. I speak to him. You know what I mean? Ramirez.
And you had to go get a gumshoe moulded quick.
And you sparred him?
Sparred him, did him 5 rounds, and outboxed him. I was
Stood him on
knackered
his
as well.
head.
Smash him.
It was no, let's not go far. You know what I mean? We don't go over the top, but definitely bossed the spar. You know what I mean? Outboxed him. That made my career.
Yeah.
Because you got rid of the ghost.
There's a God in this world, brother.
Yeah.
You know, why did that happen? All the places in the world. He was from Panama. What's he doing in New York? That was where he's training. I didn't know.
Wow,
mean?
that's good. That's
Yeah,
good
yeah,
age.
cause
So
I
that
suppose
was
that
my
gave you-
defining moment, I suppose. Looking back, and you just reminded me, really. You know what I mean? But
I listened to you, Ish.
I was saying coming back from the knockout loss, but that was what made me that spark.
In life.
100%, 100%. What about you, D? What
Me?
about your
Yeah.
life?
You want to hear about me,
Yeah.
sir?
Come on,
Sure you
dude.
hear about me?
There's no more interview.
Listen,
there.
Man, it's gonna
by,
take you all
the,
day, sir.
by the way, before you say it, you might have a job doing this interview.
Yeah, you do.
Your
Well,
own pressure.
start my career off. No one was interested. You know what I mean? To give me a chance. They took the mickey out of me, really. One of my manager was with, I'm not mentioning her name. I said to him, "How am I fighting?" He said, "Yeah, I've got your fight, mate." I said, "Sure." So I said, "Where is it?" It's on the Naz and Paul Ingle undercard, right? So I bought a new tracksuit, haircut.
Tell them the story.
Got the weight down, everything. Looking forward to this because it's your first fight on the undercard of a good bill. I turn up to the weigh-in. I see Thomas Hitman Earns, George Foreman, the old lot. And I'm thinking,
Nazim Hamid.
Nazim Hamid was there. I said, yeah, this is what I want. So I go to Barry Earns. Yeah, Donovan Smiley. Looks at me. Who are you? I said, I've been sent down here by blah, blah, blah. He goes, you're not on here, mate. So he goes, I'll tell you what, I like you can So he set me up with an opponent who's had 4 fights.
He talked himself into the event.
so 4 fights, and he's been knocked out. So I jump in the ring. I'm not bothered who he is. I just want to get on the show. And obviously, I'm going to cut this choice short. I beat him in 45 seconds in the first round.
Easy work.
Knocked out clean. Boom.
Light work.
Roy Jones business. You know what I mean? Boom. Then after that, I got set off. I got signed to Frank Maloney after that.
Yeah,
he gave me a couple of good fights. Obviously, you know what they're like. When they give you fights, they try and set you up. But I got through them, overcome them. I pray. I always pray. I have faith in God. So anytime I go in a fight, I have faith. It's always there written for you to win or lose. Even if you lose a fight, I've got to pick myself up and carry on and have faith to say, you know what, God, I've lost this fight for a reason. And I'm going to carry on. I've done that quite a few times, you know what I mean? I've had a couple of fights with him. And then he set me up with the last fight with a person I don't even know. I don't even like. I don't mention what is Santa Claus. OJ.
I don't want to say his name.
Yeah. My 3rd fight. Buduf.
Bit too early, right?
I get knocked out on live TV because I'm overconfident. Yeah. And from there, I picked myself up again. And I went to the Ingles. And I joined Ingles. And then from there, I won me 2 titles and stuff. And you know what I mean? Carried on from
life.
That's history. That's history. That's me.
Yeah. What about you, Josh? How serious are you about this, and how far can you take it? How far can you go? How far do you want to go? How serious? How not serious? You know what are you saying?
That's about 30 questions in one.
Yeah.
There, so I'll start.
It's all in one.
I'll start.
You know
I'll start with. I'll start with how serious I am. Well, it's quite easy for me, and and I think there would only be one natural answer, but I think the best way you can see how serious I am is if you ask people around me. When I do something, I commit to it.
You do it right.
And I can tell you what I believe I can do, but ultimately it comes down to showing. And like we were saying earlier, I pick myself up and get back on the horse, and that's what I'm showing. And I've dedicated my life to this. I've made it my full. I put myself in a position to make sure I can do the sport full time and commit to it. And so
you don't work at all. Don't do anything else on the side.
Don't do anything else. Don't do anything else on the side. I engage in little other projects.
Like this, what's that? Can you tell us?
Yeah, nothing that's.
Want to promote anything?
We need to know.
There's gonna be a little fun project that's gonna come out in a couple of weeks. I can't really go into too much detail, but it'll fun. But you guys will get the exclusive.
Yeah.
You guys will get the exclusive drop beforehand. Yeah. But this is what I consider my full time, my main profession. And so that's how serious I take it, because I understand, and like I said, I was cognizant of where I'm at 28 years old. Like I need to commit to it. Otherwise, there's going to be kids coming through that are going to be hungry, that are going to have that time to recover. I couldn't do a full-time job after, especially when training for a fight. I need time to go home and rest, because then we got a next training session. If I was going to a job in between, it's a lot, and like the body doesn't recover how it once was. Like when I was 19, I could do 30 different activities in a day and recover from it. Now it's okay, if you really want this, Josh, and I could have made money elsewhere, and I've had opportunities elsewhere, but I said to myself, I owe it to who I am.
You need to be hungry as well.
To see this thing all the way. And I mean, everyone's goal is different. Like I always say that you have to shoot for the stars. Or shoot for the moon, and if you fall, you'll catch some stars along the way. And so when I say to people, like, I believe I've become a world champion, it's because I have to say to myself, I have to, because and Confucius said this: those who say they can and those who say they can't are both probably right. So the moment I say that I can't is the moment that I eradicate any minute possibility that I can become. Because even though it might be a small possibility that I could become a world champion, the moment I say that I can't is the moment that there's just no hope. There's just no hope. So when I say it, it's not to be like far-fetched or arrogant.
No, I get you.
It's
confidence.
It's to provide that opportunity.
It also says in the Bible, it says that this is a preaching
No,
show.
it's good. No,
it's
Sunday.
Sunday. We're on the Sabbath day. It says in the Bible that whatever you speak out your mouth, your ears hear, and it manifests in you. So if you're speaking negativity, that's what manifests inside of you. So you have to speak it. But a lot of people don't know the difference between self-confidence and self-esteem. You come across like a man who's got more self-esteem than self-confidence. What I mean by that is there's a lot of people shouting their mouth off and look confident, but behind closed doors they don't believe the things that they're saying. Does that make sense?
But
so what's more important, that when you do speak publicly or privately, you believe what you say. It doesn't matter what they believe. Because that's you building your self-esteem up so you can move forward.
Most definitely.
Like I'm looking at you right now, I'm looking into your eyes when you're speaking and stuff. I can see your focusedness. Like looking in my eyes.
You know, the main.
I can see your focusedness, and when you're speaking, you're not smiling or you got the confidence. I can see you're sure.
Yeah, you're determined. You can see it.
I can see it.
The main thing he's got, right, which is so important, and if he does lose it, he's got to walk away.
That's right.
He enjoys it and he's got passion.
So you stay, you deal with it.
He enjoys what he's doing. He's got passion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very important. So important.
Got to. If you ever lose that,
you leave
you've
it.
got to leave it.
You get disillusioned, and it's over before you know it.
But it's hard.
It's over before you know it.
But this is what I say to anybody: you find out what you're passionate about. Is when it gets hard, do you stick around?
That's right.
Because that's how you really find out if you're passionate about something. Because it's got really hard at certain times, like whether it be through not getting fights or injury. Exactly.
You still wanted it. You was frustrated, but you still wanted it. So that's why it will happen. It will happen.
And be real with yourself. So you know the problem. Let's be real here. Like in fighting, you get injured, and you know you need to heal, but your trainer, your manager, your friends, they'll look at you certain way like,
you'll be alright.
He's alright. Or they might be looking like he's making excuses to fight. But you'll know if you're making excuses or not. And if you're not making excuses, there's nothing to feel bad about. Because that's you putting your ego at the door and saying, no, I say to all my clients that tell me the 3 things that I want to focus on towards your goal. They straight away go nutrition, exercise, well done. What's the third one? And they're thinking. And then they sleeping. I mean, you're halfway there. Keep going. Recovery. If you're not recovering, you're not making it anyway. It doesn't matter how hard you train or how you get your nutrition right. If you're not learning recovery methods, and there's so much elements to that: sleep, ice baths, massages, and so on.
Look after yourself.
Spending an hour a day every morning. My wife will tell you, I get out of bed, I go to the gym at 5 a.m, I come home, the phone is off till 8 a.m. Then I spend an hour myself in a room. She doesn't come in, she doesn't come near me. I spend an hour going through where my life's at, where I want my life to go, looking at my affirmations, looking at my tasks for the day. Am I preparing properly? How far off it? I look after my mental health and what I want for my life, and when I sort of switch the phone off, whatever comes at life, I'll deal with that. And that is very underestimated, because people will, especially in boxing, they'll throw everything at you, and before you know, you're doing everything for everyone else, but you're not doing for you. And you, to make it, it's about the stability, not the ability.
I like that.
So that's just what we learn through going through the process.
Priceless.
But we have to then, as older people gone through boxing and had good experiences, bad experiences, we've got to tell you where the bread's at. If we don't tell you what we learned, then we're not really being truthful to ourselves. You'll see in all sports, you guys, you'll get sick of us saying it, but all sports teachers are a dying breed. In football and boxing, it's a dying breed. Now, people think, but you do sports science and you do nutrition and you've got lots of clients and this, that, and the other. But if you're in a sport, it's got to be the teaching and it's got to be sport specific. If you lose a fight, other people are training harder. Well, you didn't lose the fight because you weren't fit enough. You trained hard for 3 months, got knocked out in the first 60 seconds. It wasn't because you weren't fit enough. It's because you didn't get the teaching right. You didn't look at Sugar Leonard. He loses against Duran in the first fight.
Yeah,
he got it right. Second fight,
and even AJ v Andy Ruiz.
Thank
the
you.
first
He went back. But now let's talk about that. Right, the rematch with Usyk.
Okay.
How do you think Josh is going to come over with
He's
this?
got a tough one.
He's got a tough one, isn't
That's a tough.
Do you think he's going to? Because some people are saying, "Oh, he knocked out Ruiz in the second fight. Josh will come back." What do you think?
Tell me the tactics. Tell me
what do you think? The tactics. Break down.
Do you know what? I really like AJ.
I do.
Really like him. I really like him. I just.
Come on.
When he was coming through, and you look at the Dillian White fight, when he had the Dillian White fight, that was a prime example of AJ that, not at his technical peak, but at the peak of his ego, at the peak of his
desire.
Desire and hunger.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't matter what Dillian White brought, and Dillian White's gone on to show he's a real good fighter. Like, he's not no slouch. Like, AJ gripped down and done whatever he had to do to win that fight.
That gauntlet shield down.
What we've seen is an evolution of AJ, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, he's really refined his boxing skills even more. But he needs a bit more of that grit.
Aggression.
Do you know what it is, Josh? Right, and it happens to every fight. It happened to Naz. It happens to other fighters. Right, they get silk sheets and they get the money, and now what they try to do is just try to do it safer.
Okay, that's a good.
They try to do it safer. Sometimes when boxing's got to win, and think, do you know what, man? He hit Usyk 4 times in that fight. Did you see his face? Usyk's face was bust up after 4 punches.
Yep.
At some point, you've got to say, do you know what? I've got all the money in the bank as it is. I'm biting down the gum sheet and we're going to war.
Yeah.
We're going to fight. A little bit like Tyson Fury leaning on Wilder.
Yeah.
If he gets that kind of tactics against Usyk, gets in and puts that weight on him, Usyk's going to be tired pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's all he's got to do.
But again, like, when we revert it back to Usyk's fought, like, look at in the amateurs, Usyk's fought the likes of Joe Joyce. He's fought big guys. Like, Usyk can fight. Like, and like the only trouble that I've seen him really have as a pro, well, two different contrasting styles with Derek Chisora, where he just got nitty gritty, and Tony Bellew done really well with him. Boxed him, but Tony Bell's got a really slick. Really slick style. He's got a nice IQ. What held Tony Bellew back was just obviously Usyk was just a little level above him and a little bit more enjoyed. And so with AJ, he's got to just make a conscious decision early on to go for broke, and that's a difficult decision. I mean, as a professional, or I'd say there was only one fight as an amateur where I had to like really say, okay, this guy, if I try to box him, he's gonna beat me. And Isham seeing my style, I'm not really what I'd say like a brawler or a fighter. There's only one fight that I've had where I had to say, okay, I cannot box this guy. He is the superior boxer. I've just got to literally just weave in and just swing some hands
that's it.
And
fighting.
Yeah, with
none of us want to do that, but if we make the choice to get in there.
And I remember feeling legless at the end of the third round. I won a split decision, and I'll always hold my hands up and say it was controversial. It could have gone. It could have gone his way, but
you deserved it.
But I was proud of myself on that occasion because I that was the one fight where I could have lost, where I made the decision to fight when it was not my style or in my best interest to. So that's the only sort of semi-relation that I can have to what AJ would probably need to do.
I've got to cut in there about the AJ and Josh. AJ and Usyk.
Talk to us.
So what I'm saying is, I think it's all in Usyk's hands because I think
he's won.
I think Usyk all day. The only thing that I believe is if Usyk ages overnight, he's been around a long time.
Had a lot of fights.
What, 300 amateur fights?
He's had a lot of
this
fights,
is what's happened to my idol Lomachenko, man. He's had too long at it. So maybe overnight. I mean, he had that look with Ruiz. Didn't prepare the second time.
Yeah, because he overcompleted. You had the title.
I can't believe that.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, he went through.
So he kind of beat himself, but Joshua beat him as well because Joshua had a better game plan and he was prepared.
I think
it might happen that way again if you know AJ will prepare, Usyk will prepare, but as Father Time caught with him, that's the only thing you can get for Joshua, because I'm a big fan of Joshua.
Yeah, I look at it this way. Usyk's beaten his multiple weight. He's won all the world titles. So I think he's laid back now because overcome. Because he's getting all the people ringing him up, like you say, and all this, doing this. So I don't think he'll be focused as much. And Josh has gone away now. Find a new trainer and he's more focused.
I think
he's working on his craft where he's just doing his.
It ain't gonna help him. What do you reckon?
I think
what, the new trainer?
Yeah, man. How's it gonna help him?
No, you don't know about it. You don't know about the trainer, though. We don't.
Who's the trainer? I don't even know who the trainer is.
The trainer can be the best trainer.
Yeah, but we don't know.
You can't get in there, will you?
It's not like changing him. You can't bend the tree when it's fully grown. He'd be working his mindset, getting him aggressive, getting that fire out of him.
I get what you're saying, because sometimes when you go for with a new trainer, it like sort of it lights your motivation again. You're doing something different.
It's very hard. It's
training.
I don't know some guy.
I've got someone who trains on the inside. There's not been a decision there yet.
Okay, all right, but he's floating around though.
Okay,
there's not been a decision there yet.
I thought he was doing something with Floyd or something.
There's loads of rumours. That's what I'm saying. There's loads of rumours. No decision there.
I think it's just
but the thing is you can't with a guy like Usyk changing the trainer. We've seen this with Nas left Brendan and he went with Emmanuel Stewart, and he probably implemented all them new things in the gym that Emmanuel Stewart gave him. As soon as you get hit in the ring, you default back to what you can't learn on a job with a guy like Usyk. You can't learn on a job like Usyk. And it's weird how styles make fights, because I think that Joshua has probably got a better chance against Fury.
Yeah, I agree. I've always said this.
But I think Fury absolutely beats Usyk easy.
Yeah, too big. Do you know what? Exactly the same.
And lean on him and stuff like that. Mauling. That's what Tyson Fury would do.
Yeah, because you've got to think like. And you like I think we can agree. Can you remember Lomachenko v Rigondeaux? Both exceptional, exceptional fighters. There's just a time where if your skill's the same but you're bigger, the bigger person is gonna win. That's what I think.
That's why Lomachenko shouldn't be at lightweight.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he got beat. There's a good saying, you know what I mean. Now, Lomachenko was kind of different because he was an exceptional good fighter. But to box the bigger man who was
young,
I don't think he was exceptional, but he was a good fighter. You know, the size, isn't it? The size. Do you know what I mean?
Because in that fight, I see Fury just boxing his head off at a distance. If he tries to slip in left and right,
too big.
Can you get caught with the right hand, right?
If
he then he tries to go inside on Fury.
We've
seen what happened to Wilder.
Yeah, it's lean him and drain him out.
And Usyk is not the massive puncher, is it?
Plus, he's not.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I agree that AJ's got the best chance against Fury because AJ will go and God willing, he does
power
go.
Shot,
Actually, and Dillian White, like don't sleep on Dillian because Dillian White will go for hell for level. Like, I'm not saying he's nowhere near him. He's nowhere near as good as boxer as Tyson Fury.
But he's got a chance to punch his champ.
But he will he will go and he will try. Like we saw it when he fought Joseph Parker. He is, man. He's dog.
Yeah, listen, when you get knocked out against Povetkin. And then the next fight, you're coming back from that and beating him.
He didn't care. But like you look at his mentality during that fight, he didn't act timid in any way.
Because normally you cower away from shots.
He didn't act timid in any way. And then the best one was like Joseph Parker. Like he just literally ragdolled him. And I think if Dillian White goes with that mentality against Fury, give him some problems. I don't think he'd win.
Early on,
he gives him some problems and
he makes him think.
That's
what you have to do with a guy like Fury who's so talented. You have to make him think early on. You have to knock him out of his game plan.
And who's that guy that Fury fought before he fought the second one with Wilder that gave him a little trouble?
With the cut,
that's it. Like again, I think Dillian was going to fight Otto Wallin at one point. Similar.
It's funny how they pulled out of that fight, don't it?
Yeah, it's all of it skeptical, but like Dillian, he deserves his shot now, man.
He does.
He does deserve.
I think they took him to get Tyson Fury to court in WBC, or is he going to?
We're still waiting on that. Still waiting on that. But I want to ask you, for the audience watching as well, where do you want to be in 2 years from now in your career?
2 years time.
In a perfect world, lay out for us. Where do you want to be?
If we had a perfect world, and I have to say this because this is for the country of descendants that I'm from, St Vincent and the Grenadines. in the 1980s, there was a gentleman called Frankie Lucas who went and won.
Educated.
Went and won the Commonwealth title for St Vincent and the Grenadines as an amateur. He got declined to fight for England, even though he was he was raised in England. So he went and fought for St Vincent and the Grenadines, won a Commonwealth title.
You're not going nowhere. We won you, man.
I'm staying. I'm a combination. I'm a mixture of both.
Part 2, we're coming to interview over there. We'll get a sponsor.
Listen. You can all come and stay at my mum's place, man. You'll love it. But he's a folk hero in St Vincent, but we've never had from the island a descendant that's won the Commonwealth title as a professional. And I said and I promised when I met the when I met the president of St Vincent, the Prime Minister, that I would become a Commonwealth champion and bring the belt back to the country and have the belt there. So that is where I would like to be in 2 years' time. And that's sort of where I'm focusing my attention. So the next step
you've got fans in us.
That's
love that.
Bless it.
Josh, it's been an honour. And what I can say is, on behalf of us all, man, like I said, great person. Let's just get behind this guy. This guy's gonna make some waves.
Definitely, man.
And we're behind you, Josh.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for. And what have I got to do to get one of these hoodies, man?
We're getting them. Which one do you think's the best colour?
Modelling now, yo. Check it.
Do you know? I'd go to white. I'd go to white.
Yo, mad you, man.
Shut up, man.
Listen. Someone told me, because we've got dark skin. Red goes.
No, I like the red, but I'm a Chelsea fan.
Listen.
I'm a Chelsea fan, so I can't wear red. So
fling this red down with some Jordans.
No, listen, I'm a Chelsea fan, so
Chelsea.
I can't.
Stop it, man.
I can't wear red.
I'm a Man United fan.
Man,
don't get me wrong, because I'm in Nottingham, Forest. I'm Luton, Forest, and Chelsea. I've got 3 teams.
It's D's time anyway. D's got to sign us out.
Listen, guys.
You got to play the song first.
Phenomenal guy.
Give me the thing, I'll do it for you.
I appreciate this guy.
Before we log off, tell the people on that camera right there where they can find you on social media, where they can find you. How do they contact you if they want information on up-and-coming fights? Talk to the people.
That's it. So it's Josh Goodin on Facebook, or my own Facebook boxing page, and Josh the Diamond Goodin on Instagram. So hit me up,
get behind him,
direct, and
get behind
awesome guy.
Get behind him.
Trust me.
And we're gonna check out right here. We get you ready?
All right.
Yes.
13 and final round podcast. Yeah, Isham Pickering, Donald Smiley, and John Keenan. Nice one, Josh. We enjoy it.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it every time.
Watch out.
And we out. Remember, don't forget to like,
share,
comment,
and subscribe.
And hit that notification button. And we out.